He struggled for years, actually. It was horrible. I just would start to sob. I just couldn't say the words. It was just too hard. This got so serious so fast.
This is the worldwide premiere of First Lady Dr. Jill Biden on the Jamie Kern Lima Show. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. The blue, and it's like we're like sky and sunshine. Thank you so much for being here.
I pray to Bo, and I think he listens. And now with Joe, with Joe's cancer diagnosis, I say, Bo, where are you? I need you. And some of those times, when I feel that I need to go to the cemetery and talk to him, and I hope he listens.
Do you feel his presence all the time?
I do.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel him with you right now? God, are you real?
Like, where are you?
Do you know for sure God exists?
There are times in your life when you're going to question God because things are so hard. You don't want to hear your son talking about doing crack cocaine. It's just too hard, and it tears you apart.
Yes.
It tears you apart. It tears your family apart. We weren't perfect. I mean,
none of us are. I've never heard you talk about this before. So many people felt, the next star in the family is Bo. And now you look online and a lot of the buzz is, wait a minute, the next star in the family is Hunter.
Yeah. He'll love hearing that.
What if it's Hunter?
Yes.
What if everyone thought it's Bo?
I love hearing that as his mother.
Hunter.
Thank you.
I mean, look what's happening.
Yeah.
Look what's happening right now.
Yeah.
How do you and President Biden feel about his recent explosion of...
We're just so proud of him.
If Hunter decides to run for office.
Oh my gosh.
If Hunter decides to run for president, what would you tell him? What would President Biden tell him? First Lady Dr. Jill Biden made history as the first First Lady to hold a full-time job as a college professor, while also serving in her full-time role in the White House and across the country as our First Lady. She's carried unimaginable tragedies and loss, from losing her son Bo to cancer, to her other son Hunter battling extreme drug addiction, to now President Joe Biden being diagnosed with stage 4 metastatic cancer. Get ready to cry and be in a bit of shock and to gain soul-filling inspiration. And when I say we talk about all the things, we truly talk about all the things, including the questions that you submitted. I asked them and she answered all of them. From questions on regrets to President Biden's health to exactly what happened that night during the debate with President Trump, to how was it possible no one knew the president had stage 4 cancer, to the state of our country, from her incredible life so far to how she's handled it all, from the devastating loss of one of her children to cancer, to having another one battling addiction, to how she handles haters and critics and friends who betray her, to how she and Joe summited the highest peak possible in politics, the White House. And she has a brand new book out called View from the East Wing. You can get it anywhere books are sold, and it's also on Audible, where the First Lady herself reads it to you. And today she's opening up like never before, and nothing is off limits.
I've been through an early divorce, and I learned, the hard way.
Right.
Like, you need to have your own money. You cannot be asking somebody to support you.
With your first husband, and you were left with nothing.
It was a big lesson, and that's what I do try to tell women, that usually the man comes out better than the woman in any divorce, usually.
To this day, do you think that's true?
I do.
Do you believe you were destined or called to be First Lady?
When we were in the White House, I think every morning I would open my eyes and think, oh my God, look where I am. Like, what an honor to be here.
I am so happy you're here and so excited for this conversation we're having together today with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. The intention of this show is to be a force for good and a force for love. I have guests on that might vote differently or love differently or pray differently from you and me, because I believe to help heal humanity through love, we must first understand the humans who make it up. And I am so happy that you are here. No matter how you vote, how you love, how you pray, you belong here. And whether today you're listening for yourself or because someone shared this episode with you, welcome to the Jamie Kern Lima Show podcast family. I'd be so grateful if you take 2 seconds and just hit the subscribe button on the app you're listening or watching on. That way you're going to be the very first to get every inspirational episode. Plus, you can also get weekly inspiration into your inbox from me to you for free. Just join my newsletter at jamiekernlima.com. And thank you so much for sharing this episode with every single person you know who might need some inspiration of their own today, or perhaps some hope, because we are all in this one life together. And right now, as the First Lady shares in this episode, President Joe Biden is in the fight of his life, battling stage 4 cancer. While the First Lady agreed that today no questions were off limits, and so I do ask the most pressing questions so many of us want to know, I also want to ask you to join me in praying for President Biden's health and strength, and in praying for and sending love to his entire family during this time.
Welcome to the Jamie Kern Lima Show.
Oprah, how have you defied the odds?
Her show is unlike any I've ever done.
A revelation. When you listen, it feels like a hug.
First Lady Michelle Obama.
Jamie, you are going so deep. I have never had this in-depth conversation.
I've actually never said that out loud to anybody in an interview before. You know how to get there.
Your brain and your spirit and your heart is like, wow.
Melinda French Gates.
When I look into Jamie's eyes, I feel like I am on some other cosmic level with her.
Meghan, Duchess of Sussex.
I wasn't expecting that one. I could see the light around her. She's infused with light.
Maria Shriver.
I never made that mistake again.
Imagine overcoming self-doubt, learning to believe in yourself and trust yourself and know you are enough. Welcome to the Jamie Kern Lima Show.
Jamie Kern Lima is her name.
Everybody needs Jamie Kern Lima in their life.
Jamie Kern Lima. Jamie, you're so inspiring.
Jamie Kern Lima.
She flew here today to join you and me in person, and I am so excited to say, First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, welcome to the Jamie Kern Lima Show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me, Jamie.
I'm so happy you're here. How are you doing? How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I've been out on my book tour. I'm feeling really good about it. The audiences have been great. I've heard a lot of positive comments, and it's good, you know, because I think a lot of times nowadays things are so toxic that it's nice to embrace people who are embracing you and and our administration, and I feel like they're embracing me as a person.
Mm-hmm. This idea that success leaves clues. When we look at your life so far, right? And this is for everyone listening or watching us right now who's like, is this book for me? When we look at your life so far, I think every person listening or watching can connect to your life. And some of the things that you've carried or that are carrying right now on so many levels, whether it's how did you hang on to your own identity and passions when things in your life are changing or your husband's life are changing? How do you carry grief and loss? How do you maintain your faith when it feels like things are so unfair that are happening? And just all of the different things you have navigated, have carried, have faced. You know, of course, anyone in politics in that world, the lowest of lows and betrayals, but also summited the highest peaks and made it to the White House twice. Yeah. So I just want to ask you off the top how you do that, how you've gotten to where you're at, how you still carry it off.
Well, you know, I think one of the things that a theme that runs through my book is independence. And I think from a young age, I wanted to be independent, make my own money. I worked between 11th grade and 12th grade, and then after 12th grade at the shore, I went down with a couple girls to get money for college. I know your listeners, probably many of them are working women, and it was important to me that I maintain my job, not only as second lady, but as first lady. And
you were the first in history, first lady in history to hold a full-time job.
Yes, and get a paycheck. And get a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
And that was important to me. And so I think I really tried hard to maintain that, my mother always said, know yourself. And, know thyself is what she would say. And I always tried to hold true to that. And one of the things that I loved in my life was teaching. And so when I became second lady, my staff said, there's no way you're going to teach. And I said, yes, I'm going to continue to teach. And I figured a way to do that. And so I taught at a community college for all 8 years. Mm. And then in between, and I loved that community college so much because it had so much diversity. And so in those 4 years in between second lady and first lady, I actually commuted on a train on Amtrak in the mornings to my job at Nova, and then I would train back at night. I'd get off the train, take an Uber to the college and teach and come back. And then as first lady, staff was a little more hesitant, and not my staff, not my staff, the West Wing staff. They said, "Are you sure you want to teach? And why don't you just do volunteer work?" Right. And I thought, what would that say to teachers if I just did volunteer work? It would say, like, your work isn't worth anything, so you're not getting paid for it. And I said to them, I am going to continue to teach, and you better figure it out. Mm-hmm. And they did, and I continued to teach. So I think that's a theme that I wanted to get across to women especially. You have to be able to stand on your own 2 feet, no matter what happens to you in life. As you know, we lost our son, Bo, to brain cancer at 46 years old. He had a wife and 2 children. Now she did work, but now she had to support her family herself. And I've been through an early divorce. I went to college, fell in love with a guy, first semester, kind of crazy. And I was divorced by the time I left school, 4.5 years later. But, and I learned, the hard way. Right. Like, you need to have your own money. You cannot be asking somebody to support you. And that's my personal feeling. Some women are very comfortable with that. And like my mother, my mother was a homemaker, but it was important to me to be independent.
I always feel like our steps are ordered sometimes. And it's interesting, like when with your first husband and even the bar or the business he was building, when you were together, you didn't get any part of that in the divorce. You were left like with nothing.
Yes.
Yeah. Big lesson early on.
It was a big lesson. And that's what I do try to tell women, that usually the man comes out better than the woman in any divorce. Usually. Mm-hmm.
To this day, do you think that's true?
I do. Did you just read Belle Burden's book, The Stranger?
No.
Oh my gosh, you have to read it. Okay. Yeah. And I just gave it to my daughter to read, and I'm like giving it to women because she was a woman who had means but trusted her husband, and everything was half for him and half for her, and she didn't protect herself. So it's not that we shouldn't trust the men in our lives, but we need to protect ourselves as well.
Right. You mentioned your son, Bo, and I want to ask you about faith and about your faith. For so many of us, we can have faith, and then when things go horribly wrong or don't make sense or feel unfair, it is so easy to be like, God, are you real? Do you even exist? And if you do,
Like, where are you?
Where are you? How
Where
would
are
you
you?
let this happen? In May of 2015, your son Bo died from brain cancer. You described the loss as totally shattering and say your life changed in an instant, that you lost faith, stopped praying and attending church for 4 years. When you have a son that, had everything in the world going for him, I think you and President Biden both thought Bo will probably be president one day, destined to be president. Then he gets cancer. How do you reconcile God taking someone like Bo from this earth?
Well, for me, I couldn't reconcile it. I mean, that was one of the biggest challenges. I think Joe perseveres and endures and can handle things because of his faith. I just felt so betrayed, and because I really didn't feel Bo was going to die, and because I couldn't imagine that God was going to take him. I just couldn't imagine it, and I kept praying and saying, I think a lot of parents do this who lose children, say, take me, or, we just try to make all these bargains and deals. And then when he did die, it was just, I don't know. I never, ever gave up hope until Bo took his last breath. And so I just felt so betrayed by it, and I just couldn't understand it. It's just, and I know I'm his mother, and I would, say he was an extraordinary person, but he really was. And so when something like that happens to you, and you lose your faith, as I did for many years, and then Joe and I were in South Carolina, and we were attending a church service. I think we were probably campaigning. I can't remember. But a woman came up to me. It was the minister's wife. We were sitting in the front pew. And she knelt down beside me. And she said, Jill, I want to be your prayer partner. And I thought to myself, prayer partner? What's a prayer partner? I don't even know. And she said, I'm going to call you and we're going to pray together. So I gave her my number. I thought, where's this going? And I can remember so clearly the next week I was in New York City doing, I don't remember what. But she had told me she would call me at 4 o'clock. I left the restaurant. I went outside, I remember. And she called and prayed with me. And I felt like at that moment that was God's way of saying, Jill, you've had enough time. It's time to come home. So that's what, and to this day, I bet if you looked on my phone this morning, you would see a message from Robin, thinking of you, praying for you, keep the faith. It's how many, 11 years later, a long time. So, that's, I don't know. So God does listen.
And you felt it that day.
And I felt it that day, yeah.
Yeah, I believe God uses people to come into our lives at the right time. Or I think God blocks our value from people who aren't assigned to our destiny. I believe all that. With your son, Bo, what is your, if any, relationship like with him now?
Well, I think, every morning this got so serious so fast. Every morning, I pray to Bo, and I think he listens. And now with Joe, with Joe's cancer diagnosis, I get a little frustrated and I say, Bo, where are you? I need you. And so some of those times when I feel that I I need to go to the cemetery and talk to him and hope he listens.
Do you feel his presence all the time?
I do.
Like, do you feel him with you right now?
Yeah, he's with me every day. I mean,
Yeah.
Even when I'm not thinking about him, he's certainly part of my heart.
Yeah.
I carry him. So, yeah.
Do you ever, and would you say Joe does as well? Like, does Joe pray to him, or does Joe feel his presence as well?
Yeah.
Have you ever?
For sure.
Have you ever seen him or felt him show up in a situation?
No, but there are things that happen. Actually, this year, the day that Bo died, we have a memorial service, and we got back to our house. We live on a man-made lake, and as we walked in, like an eagle flew across the lake. It's those sorts of things, like whether they're real or they're not real. I do believe in that. So, I do find, and maybe we need to find those symbols. I don't know, but I do see them in nature.
Like when an eagle flew by, were you like, that's Bo?
Yeah.
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 I'm that way when I see butterflies with my mom, who I lost. Yeah. Yeah. I'll feel that. My daughter, who just turned 8, every time she sees a butterfly, she'll be like, Grandma, it's Grandma. And, but I feel like we know it in our spirit when you feel it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if it makes sense to anyone else. I feel like we know it.
And I feel it in his children, too. He has 2 children, Natalie, and we call him Little Hunter, but, he's like 6 feet something. But I see so much of Bo in them, too, and I think that connection's really strong.
Do you, as you sit here right now, do you know for sure God exists?
Oh, for sure God exists. Yeah. For sure.
Like 1,000,000% certainty.
Yeah. Don't you feel that way?
I do. Yeah. I think I've dealt with so much God doubt in my life, different seasons of it. But I do, because it's this feeling I can't explain that I just know. How do you know? And have you? I know your prayer partner coming into your life 11 years ago is a big, like, reigniting your faith. How do you know for sure? Like, to someone going like, Dr. Biden, First Lady, like, how I struggle with God doubt. Like, how do you know for sure God is real?
I think you've just got to feel it inside. And I think I would tell that person that I struggled with it as well. And there are times in your life when you're going to question God because things are so hard. And so, it's just, but I think it's just something you feel inside you.
Do you think our lives are divinely orchestrated? Or, like, do you believe you were destined or called to be First Lady?
No.
No.
No, I don't. It wasn't a destiny. It was actually just a pretty incredible journey. I mean, I write in the book that I'm really an ordinary girl from Willow Grove, Pennsylvania, who has lived an extraordinary life in so many ways. I mean, just the turns and, like it's like Robert Frost's, 2 paths in a wood, and which one you choose and how that determines your destiny and where you go and decisions you make. And I don't know, when I look back, I mean, when we were in the White House, I think every morning I would open my eyes and think, oh my God, look where I am. Like, what an honor to be here. Every day I felt that. And I never took it for granted. And I always felt grateful.
Even on the worst days?
Even on the worst days.
Yeah.
Because it was a responsibility, I think, that you carried. And even if you didn't always make or someone in the administration or Joe didn't make the right decision or something that I didn't agree with, it was still an incredible part of the journey.
On the topic of faith and what's fair and how do we reconcile. I think so many people right now see so much going on in the world, or feel like whether it's AI or politics or you name it, they struggle with going, okay, if God is real, why is this happening? Or how is this fair? How does this make any sense? Like so many Americans that have addiction in their family, I think everybody I know maybe has had it, affects somebody in their family. Your second son, Hunter, has talked a lot and shared a lot about his addictions.
Hunt has struggled. He struggled for years, actually. It was horrible. I mean, he went to rehab after rehab after rehab. And a lot of times I would say to Joe, have you heard from Hunter? And he'd say, no. Have you? And I'd say, no. I mean, this is like weeks on end. And we wouldn't know where he was. And he has 3 daughters, and they would call and say, Nana, we don't know where our dad is. Can you help us? And so we did do 2 interventions. And, you know, the first time it fell through because he must have felt it or something. And then the second time, he walked in and saw the interventionist there and just exploded, ran out of the house, and, said some really hurtful things that you would hope your child would never say to you. But you have to realize it's the addiction.
Yes.
And then this went on for a long time. I mean, he's written a book. Actually, you should talk to him because he's really smart and he's really funny. And he's doing so great now. He's overcome his addiction. The best thing is he's helping other addicts. I can't listen to his podcast because I can't, and maybe it's naive, but I am his mother. You don't want to hear your son talking about doing crack cocaine or it's just too hard. It's just too hard. And so I try to, but he's so honest about it. And I feel like he's turned his life around completely. I mean, he's a beautiful artist. He does so many paintings and now he's helping people in recovery. And, you know, like I said, he wrote a book, and I hope he writes another book to help people in recovery. And I think that he's given people with addiction hope. But I have to say, on my book talk, a lot of people have come up to me and said, like you did, I have addiction in my family. And it tears you apart.
Yes.
It tears you apart. It tears your family apart. And as a grandmother, I mean, trying to feel this, you know, that I needed to protect his daughters. And because it's a hard thing to see your parent going through that. It's one thing to see a sibling, but I think to see your parent, who's, you know, supposed to be your role model and your strength in life, to go through that.
Yes.
So now it's, you know, we've put back together the pieces, and thank God. I mean, he's whole again.
I love in your book, and I won't, of course, give it all away because everyone needs
don't
to
give
get
everything
their copy
away.
right now. There's so much in there. I just love everybody can relate to so many things in your book, but I love that you share your and Joe's journey of trying to do what you can, be there, understand when you have a child going through addiction, because as everyone knows who's gone through it, it feels so confusing, so impossible, so, you know, and so that's one of the many amazing parts that I know people are connecting with in your book. And I think it's
and we weren't perfect. I mean, we tried so many things.
Yeah.
And we were far from perfect. And that's why I know how much people struggle, because you do try everything. And when you keep trying and trying and trying, and it doesn't work year after year after year, it's really hard.
Right now in this very moment, a lot of people are kind of having this, and I'm just going to say it really blunt.
Okay.
And I've never heard you talk about this before. I've never heard you talk about this before.
Okay.
It's very right in this moment. So many people felt, the next star in the family is Beau.
Mm-hmm.
And now you look online and a lot of the buzz is, wait a minute, I think the next star in the family is Hunter.
Yeah.
And he just launched a Twitter that has exploded. He's talking about addiction and recovery and people all across the country, whether they are Republican or Democrat. I mean, they're connecting with it.
Yes.
He's exploding all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
And here's what I think about. Because I have people on the show who are Democrat, who are Republican, who are MAGA, who are everything.
Sure.
For me, it's not about that. It's about how do we really understand each other and help heal humanity through love and actually talk to people we don't agree with. For me, it's not about politics. But when I look at Hunter, I cannot help but think how so often God will use stories of redemption. Mm-hmm. God will use all of us to be forces for good in the world. And
he'll love hearing that.
What if it's Hunter? What if everyone thought it's Beau?
I love hearing that as his mother.
Hunter.
Thank you.
I mean, look what's happening.
Yeah.
Look what's happening right now. Yeah. How do you and President Biden feel about his recent explosion of...
We're just so proud of him. Mm-hmm. You know, that he can be so honest and say things other people won't say and feel comfortable with it because he's been through it. And it's just, I don't know, but as parents, like one of the toughest things I had to do was when Hunter was taken to court and they played his book on tape in the courtroom. To hear him tell his story in his own words, I mean, it was like so heartbreaking. And I had my daughter Ashley, our daughter Ashley, next to me, and it's just hearing the sound of his voice, talking about it, and that's why I think I don't know. It's amazing how things have turned around. So you see, I do believe a lot of times that good things come from bad things, and I think now is Hunter's time to shine. You know, he's doing really good things.
I saw something he shared recently where he's like, I've hit rock bottom. I have nothing to lose. What's beautiful is everyone has seen me at my worst, and you now know this is who I am. This is what I'm passionate about. This is what I'm offering to the world. And there's something that is so believable and relatable about that I think people are craving. I think when you have, whether people believe fake news is true or not, I think people have a hard time believing anything anymore, right? I think everyone kind of knows. There's so many conspiracy theories out there. There's so much content out there. Half the things we see on social media are now AI and they're fake. And you have someone coming out in such a just vulnerable, raw, real way of talking. And I think the contrast of you and your husband and your entire family, one of the most successful and, beautiful families, having the contrast of also the relatability of having someone that's gone through such addiction. Everyone can relate to that. He's now coming out and sharing, and people are listening to what he has to say. And it's just, there is something happening, and I can spot momentum a million miles away. There's something happening with Hunter Biden right now. Something's happening.
Something good happening.
Something's good's
happening.
Happening.
For so long it was taboo, like you didn't talk about it. I mean, people just would never, ever say, my child is an addict. And I couldn't say it. I mean, even when I read my book, my audio book, I had written it, I had thought about it, but when I had to say it out loud during the audio session, they must have stopped 3 times. I just would start to sob. I just couldn't say the words. It was just too hard. And when you've lived so many years trying to protect and protect and protect, and then and now, you know, it's and now, not that it's more acceptable, but people are talking about it. And people are saying, I'm suffering from this. And I taught in a psychiatric hospital for 5 years, and I saw a lot of addiction in young children, because I taught in the adolescent unit. But I don't know, when it's your own child, I mean, Joe and I really struggled, I mean, even with each other in talking about it. It's just too painful.
Painful.
Yeah.
If Hunter decides to run for office.
Oh my gosh.
If Hunter decides to run for president, what would you tell him? What would President Biden tell him? This conversation with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden is so incredible. We made it into more than one part, and she is truly opening up like never before and sharing lessons that have changed her life and could truly impact and change yours too. You are not going to want to miss this incredible part 2 of our conversation with First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. That's coming up in the next episode of the Jamie Kern Lima Show. Remember, this episode's not just for you and me. Please share this with every single person that you know, because it can impact and change their life too. And if you love today's episode, please click the follow or subscribe button for the show on the app you're listening to it on or watching it on. And if it added value to your life, if you could please give it a rating or review. 5 stars, really, really good. I'd be so grateful. And again, share it with everyone that you believe in. Share it with another person in your life who maybe could benefit from it, or is making a change in their life, or carrying grief, or just needs hope and inspiration. You can also post the episode and share it with others online or in your community who just might need the words and tools and lessons in this episode today. You never know whose life you're meant to change today by sharing this episode. And thank you so much for joining me today. But before you go, I want to share some words with you that couldn't be more true. You, right now, exactly as you are enough and fully worthy. You're worthy of your greatest hopes, your wildest dreams, and all the unconditional love in the world. And it's an honor to welcome you to each and every episode of the Jamie Kern Lima Show. Here, I hope you'll come as you are. Heal where you need, blossom what you choose, journey toward your calling, and stay as long as you like, because you belong here. You are worthy. You are loved. You are love. I love you, and I cannot wait to join you on the next episode of the Jamie Kern Lima Show. And please note, I'm not a licensed therapist, and this podcast is not intended as a substitute for the advice of a physician, professional coach, psychotherapist, or other qualified professional. If you love this incredible episode of First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, I promise you are also going to love this life-changing episode of the Jamie Kern Lima Show right here. It's up next just for you.